Evening. We are OKC Artists for Justice. I'm Vanessa Morrison.
I'm Candace Liger.
I'm Tiffany Nicole.
My name is Asia Bar Cooper.
And we wanted to do a quick little video to really debrief from what we saw on ABC 2020 tonight and really just discuss and get, just process this whole interview that we saw and just get our feelings out there about it. So, what did you all think about the video? What should we talk about first?
First and foremost, there was nothing new that was discovered throughout the entire hour that we watched.
Yeah.
We were anticipating like some grand new piece of evidence to be presented, but there wasn't anything new, and nor did he dispute against any of the real valid claims that are out there. It was more just so these women were going to be billionaires. They were just trying to get famous.
Right.
The fact that he would not speak in his own defense in a court of law, but he was quick to jump on 2020 as a telltale. Something about him.
Right. And you're not supposed to hold that against them if they don't, defend themselves in court. But for some reason, I guess because I thought he was going to talk on this episode, that he was actually going to say like something really profound.
Right.
He's had time to think about it.
Right. A lot of times.
If I'm an innocent man, you're going to beat me and chain me to stop me from speaking in my own defense.
Right.
Who better to tell the story besides you,
Right.
the person that was there that evening?
That's true.
And if you have nothing to lie about, what are you afraid to speak on?
Right.
Your story should be smooth, consistent. What are you afraid of?
And he had some smooth areas and consistent areas. Like, yes, he maintained a Facebook relationship with Shadaria Hill. Yes, he went to go check on her house just to make sure that she was okay.
Mm-hmm.
He did try to maintain that through the trial, but it was unheard of for a police officer to threaten somebody that they just recently arrested. What's the point of that?
It's not unheard of a predator keeping track of his victims.
Exactly.
It's not unheard of a predator trying to make sure he's intimidating his victims so they don't talk.
Right.
That's what I got out of that Facebook chat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it was that same central theme, like these women were not credible, which I guess for me is the consistent part of the whole case is that he did choose women that he knew weren't going to be believed.
Right. That was his whole MO. I'm going to pick these women out because I know at the end of the day that no one's going to believe them and they're not credible women.
Right.
And we know his girlfriend apparently agrees with that with her comments.
Yes. And it's not all the time you hear somebody say these people. It's like that is a trigger, right? That's like an instant recognize these. What you mean? These people.
You people, these people, they're related.
They're related.
They were concocted in the early 1920s and 30s.
Right. Who still says
You
that?
people.
And she said it so casually, like with so much normalcy. Like she didn't even, you think someone would say something like that and be like, oh, but I meant, that's not what I meant. She was just like, these people, why would he do this to these people when he could have went to another side of town and picked a better victim, I guess?
And again, she did not help his case. Instead of saying, no, he did not rape these women, he could never possibly rape these women. No, he would just rape women on the north part of town.
Right.
The better side of town, right?
Right.
Or he could have just raped her.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just keep it.
Which she kind of alluded to during the trial when she said that she didn't know if she was having sex with him or not because a lot of times she would be asleep.
Or high on sleeping pills, and he would try to come in. And even then, that's not necessarily unheard of that, your partner comes in and was like, hey, baby, let me get something like that. But the fact that you come on, you've had preparation time, you come on the stand, and you can't even answer that question without incriminating the person that you love, it's all of it's questionable.
And then the simple fact, she questioned why he would go and friend her on Facebook and contact her.
Even she found that to be suspicious.
Right. I think that kind of really hurt him too. That really hurt him.
And she hurt him again tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
This definitely, I guess, if this was part of his plan to get an appeal, I really feel like this interview hurt him more than it helped him.
Right. Absolutely.
Just really kind of exposed the factual facts.
The factual facts.
The
factual facts
of the matter.
And it's not a good look at all.
500, bro.
Another issue, how can rape victims become billionaires off of suing?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's unheard of.
It's like who wants to get famous by being raped by
who even gets this far in the rape case? Because most of them they get kicked out of court. Yeah. Most of these don't even get this far. So the fact that he's even alluding that this is like some type of strategy that they knew, oh, we're gonna get some money, that's just ridiculous.
And don't most cities have limits on what you can sue them for?
Right, for civil suits. Yeah, absolutely.
I promise it's not in the billions.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that these women aren't capable of forming strategy. I think they're capable of doing anything. But if the idea that they actually made a cohesive movement to form a strategy to take down this officer to become billionaires, then why the hell do they need drugs? Why do they need to be in the streets? What?
And what's even so sad and just really scary is to see how his supporters and his family members have totally taken on this like this is fact. Like this has to be it.
Right.
This is the reason why this is happening, because these women are horrible people and they want money. Just in total denial. It's really sad.
It is really
see that.
sad. I mean, I guess if we have to have heart, there is their family member, right? So they're going to try to defend him. But after a while, I need y'all to at least close the door and say, Holtzclaw, Danny, tell us what really happened. Because there's a lot of stuff going out there that doesn't make sense.
How did DNA get inside your jeans?
How did the DNA get inside the jeans?
Yeah.
And the DNA is a real big conversation, because they're trying to figure out how the DNA got into the interior part of his pants, and they're kind of alluding to the fact that he may have went to the bathroom after he stopped her. Now, she was stopped, but right before Janie Liggins, so he was already on the roll that night. And so, how the DNA get into the interior part of his pants? But I think that's not even the real question. The real question is, why didn't he arrest her? Exactly. He said she had a warrant, right? Didn't she have something against her? Okay, so whether there's DNA or not, whether there's because the fact is, the evidence that's presented in this case is very exceptional. The fact that we have AVL, GPS, the presence of DNA that actually matches.
You will never see this much evidence in any in
a rape case
at all,
the consistency of story, the location, the police car description. Of course, there was some, I guess, some tweaks in description of what he looked like. But hell, we don't see people like that on the east side of Oklahoma City too often. I mean, it's just what it is.
And it's not uncommon for someone who's been assaulted, especially during the assault, to remember every single detail of the assault. It's trauma. Right. It's an unusual experience. You're not going to be able to recall all that information perfectly. It's not. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
And then you're getting raped by like three entities. You're getting raped by this big man. You're getting raped by the gun on his holster, and you're getting raped by the badge on his chest. And so that's going to break down a lot of mental acuity in the process of somebody telling you to get on your knees or lift up your shirt, blah, blah, blah. So it's the consistency that's really important. But I don't think they're going to become billionaires anytime soon, guys. Not anytime soon.
It doesn't work like that.
It's not in the budget.
They say first. What else did they say?
Ferguson.
Yes, there was presence in the courtroom the entire time. Thank you to all the people who
we were
knew
there
about the case.
Day one.
Thank you to Pastor Jesse Jackson for mobilizing a movement to make sure that there was presence in the courtroom at all time and giving people rides to the court when they needed to. So I think Benjamin Crump was talking about maybe just the women were I don't know what he was talking about.
I don't know.
There was OKC members of OKC Artists for Justice in there at the time.
And East Side people.
And East Side
community came together.
We're there.
At a time.
Showed up and showed out.
Every day.
Every time.
Yeah, every time. Was there anything else that really stood out in the? I mean,
Kim Davis. Can we just give her a round of applause?
If y'all don't know who Kim Davis is, Kim Davis is the detective that interrogated Daniel Holtzclaw.
Yeah, she was the lead detective. She did most of the groundwork, and it was really good that she was present because she has a history in sex crimes, one, and I really think the fact that she is a woman played a lot to do with how she, absorbed the victims' testimonies and how she believed them. Like she's looking at them sideways, like girl.
Them.
So Kim Davis did exceptional work. Absolutely.
It's important that she said they were the perfect victims because he knew that the public would not believe them. But the fact that they were also poor witnesses, because anyone in their position are not going to look at Holtzclaw in the face. Right. They're going to keep their eyes down. Right. That's survival mode in that position. They're in survival mode. They figure if they're not looking in his face, he will let them go because they're not a threat to him.
Right.
And so I like the fact that she brought that up. They were inconsistent in some of the descriptions because they weren't looking him in the face. They weren't looking up to him. And the fact that she did believe them because they were the perfect victims.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
And then continually victimizing the victims. He went back and tried to sully her name and said these are not Soccer's mom or Miss Liggins, and said that she had interaction with the police in the 1980s.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
And so now she's not a soccer mom. She doesn't fit the soccer mom description because she doesn't live in the soccer mom
basically equates to she's not like a white woman.
And we know that's the description of a quote unquote soccer mom. And so now he tried to defame her name because she had interaction with the police. By my understanding, she wasn't even charged. She wasn't charged for
thinking about how you worded that.
Yeah, marijuana. She wasn't charged. It was marijuana. They alleged that she had that on her. And we can say they alleged because she was never charged or convicted.
Right.
And she had marijuana on her over 30 years ago.
And that's the exception to the rule. I mean, who hasn't been pulled over by the police?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we looking for here?
That's just the whole perpetuation of rape culture, right? Because it is basically them stating that because of her past, there's no way that she can be a credible person. When we all know when it comes to sexual assault, I don't care if it did happen, and if it happened yesterday, that doesn't mean that she cannot be victimized by a sexual predator. That has nothing to do with her experience. And so just that constant perpetuation of rape culture, it's just, it's really killing people.
All throughout. And you know, and some of the comments reflected that, and people who, you know, gave feedback about the entire episode, you know. And really the only defense is it's been consistent, whether it's from the defense attorney, whether it's from Holtzclaw, whether it's from his supporters. It's just these women are not worthy to be believed.
Right.
And that's the continuous thread, and I don't know who they would have to be worthy to be believed.
Exactly.
You know,
I tell you, they can't be black and they can't be have any kind of charges or any kind of criminal past.
Right.
No, that's just cutting to the chase of it.
And the survivors, I mean, their presence in that interview, I wasn't expecting them to be in the interview, so I was really happy to see that they had a voice in this and were able to come up and talk about their experiences. And again, just want to commend them for all their bravery and stepping up and speaking out about this, because it's not easy.
Right. So right now, the really big thing is that there's a civil suit going on right now. Some of the ladies are represented by Benjamin Crumb, and we still don't know where Holtzclaw is. He's been completely removed from the system, right? So I don't know if he's been served papers even at this time, but he was able to do this 2020 interview. So right now, the biggest question is, Holtzclaw, where you at, bro?
Where are you?
Where you at?
Trying to serve you.
You know, and you've had some reflection time. There's some downtime. You know, the Ferguson, we've all gone back to our jobs and our families now, so you ain't got to worry about, you know, a tear gas or anything like that, apparently. But, you know, it's owed to the survivors that they know where their perpetrator is,
especially now that we know that
he's not accused. The alleged. That was one thing they kept saying. The alleged incident.
You're convicted.
He's convicted. Right. And especially now that we have knowledge that he is aggressively trying to get an appeal, those survivors most definitely have the right to know where he is at, where he's located.
Right.
All of us do.
I think this could be illegal. Them keeping him from him.
Right. But we will know soon.
2020 found him. So.
We will know soon. So that's the word. All in all, ABC, it was a very surface level type of expose. Holtzclaw added nothing new to the entire dialogue. And
no factual facts.
No factual facts. I was really looking forward to the factual facts. I saw it on the preview, and there weren't really any factual facts. There was a lot of crying and a lot of boohooing, but not addressing the very key elements that even promoted his guilt. Mm-hmm. He's guilty. That's what we know. Yes. Now, if you want to defend yourself, you need to defend against those items that's on the table that, you know, made you guilty, bro.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. We'd love to hear what you all think. Please post below and let us know what you think, what your feedback is. Okay. And we'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Peace.